Hello, everyone, and welcome to Omlink platform. It's the meeting point of passionate people about energy efficiency and sustainability. I'm Elvira Rakova, and I'm very happy to welcome today Olivier Cloarec as my first guest. So we're a little bit nervous, but I think it's going to be very interesting and fascinating interview. Olivier is a technical advisor in Artema. So he's driving French manufacturing towards a sustainable future. And today we have some interesting questions to discuss. So, hello, Olivier. Could you please tell us a little bit more for our visitors of our platform? What is the main task of Artema and what is this?
Yes, thank you, Elvira. Artema is a trade association representing the profession of sealing, fasteners, transmission as hydraulic, pneumatics and mechanical, bearing and linear motions, and mechatronics. So it now has 150 members companies that design, produce, market, and maintain the components, solution, or system they manufacture. This represents 7.8 billion euro in turnover, 50% of which is exported, and 35,000 dedicated employees. Artema is a member of the FIM, which means Federation of Mechanical Industry, and the European Commission, CTOP for hydraulics and pneumatics, EIFE for fasteners, Eurotrans for mechanical gears, and FEPMA is for rolling bearings. Okay, Artema works in the economic and technical fields and contributes to the content of training courses that interest the profession represented. Being a member of Artema allows the company to benefit from quantified information on its market, insight into its customer sectors, customer meetings, legal support, with in particular adapted general condition of sale, monitoring regulations, adapted to its activity and its products, to be a stakeholder in the standard concerning it with the support of Artema experts. If necessary, Artema intervenes with the public authority or institutions to defend its professional positions. Finally, the My Artema platform gives them access to a great deal of information, and you allowing them to have a 150 degrees watch on their environment. The Artema team is made up of 7 persons under the responsibility of a general delegate. Its mission is to implement the action decided by the board, the professional groups, and commissions.
That's really fascinating. So it's a platform where you connect all professionals from France, and they have this access to latest know-how. And I'm also personally a member of my company, member of Artema, and you have always the latest news. So if we have any listeners and anyone who watches from France, I really recommend to check it out because it's very interesting. And I have a pleasure to work with you. And could you please also tell what is your role in Artema?
Yes, I'm technical advisor. So I work as a sort of Swiss knife because I am the referent of the Association for all environmental and technical matters dealing with pneumatics, hydraulics, gear and transmission part, sealing solutions, rolling bearings, and linear motion and mechatronics as well.
So everything.
To resume, simply, all industrial components with created motions are in my hiking bag.
Okay, no, that's really amazing. So you have like a hand everywhere, and really about the latest technologies and knowledges. And the most important thing, what is also Omlink is trying to do, is connect people, connect professionals, experts with manufacturing. And of course, what is very interesting, especially now for us, it's the energy efficiency and any Green Deal initiatives or programs that are started by Artema. And could you please tell us about initiatives that you provide right now, that you started?
Yes, maybe I can say something about my mission in Artema before telling about energy efficiency initiative. I have technical action. We are focusing on participation of standardization, new standard or updating standards. It's anticipating collective studies to push them forward to our technology center, so-called CETIM. Creating conditions of collaboration means partnership with university, engineering school to develop studies, guidance for the benefits of Artema manufacturer and all their customers. It's animation of technical group with Artema companies. And also be assume other different tasks dealing with environmental matters. It means defend Artema profession against new text in conflict with the principle of technology neutral. Is to collaborate with French administration to develop a realistic text which permit to reduce emission in air or water in the respect of planned production constraints. Okay, and it's to contribute to relevant position paper regarding environmental regulation, for example, WEEE directive.
Okay.
So, of course, to go back to energy efficiency, it's a fundamental topic for the future of Artema professions. A few actions are covering this topic. Okay. So to define our technology, we can consider that transmission technology as fleet power and gears are not sufficiently known by citizens as electricity power and electrical devices are. Everybody uses electricity at home, for instance, but also big actor as EDF, Électricité de France, aim to promote electrical solution as evident extension of electricity power sources. For example, electrical vehicle is a figurehead, always promoting as energy of the future and as unavoidable to reach zero carbon emission sources of energy. But it's not exactly the truth, because for instance, to produce electricity with wind turbines, you need to compensate downtimes with coal-fired power stations. Okay.
Yes.
But for Artema, the problem is a problem of substitution of technology. As electricity is supposed to be environmentally friendly energy sources, all type of devices using energy, for example, for motion, should use the same energy. Electricity ferry.
Yes, that's true.
But Artema technology of transmission use motor or pumps to generate motions. Motor or pumps can use electricity power or not. For instance, an electrical motor move a hydraulic pump to feed hydraulic actuators.
Yes.
Same remark for air compressor to generate air energy. For gearboxes, the aim is a little bit different, is to cover speed and torque of a motor by reducing speed and increasing torque. Artema has developed an argument and example to highlight industrial benefits of using Artema components and systems despite pure electrical solutions. Artema is not fighting against electrical solutions, but consider all technology at the same level of importance and focus only on application in order to let the state-of-the-art of technology giving the best response to client or market. It is not an exception that a mix of technology, we call hybrid solution, is relevant. To promote our technology regarding energy efficiency, we have made a lobbying action to remove certificate of energy saving in France, promoting abandonment of, for example, gearboxes, pulleys, and belts in favor of direct drive motors, we say torque motors. In reaction, Artema has contributed to modify existing CEE and to write new ones, certificate of energy saving, as engine stop and start for mobile machines. So permit to promote possibility of using hydraulic solution. Artema developed as well a method at ISO level for the determination of energy efficiency of system. It's the same for hydraulics and pneumatics. Design stage and maintenance stage in order to fulfill the best solution of energy saving in the context of end-user defined applications. Artema has developed an event on energy efficiency with customer association, example for mobile machine. Artema is at the origin of a method to determine on test benches the energy efficiency, we say ratio of power, for gearboxes with the help of our technical center setting. What Artema has done concretely guides, for example, best practices for pneumatics, requirement for frictions, but as well numerical presentation, for example, on website, and so on have been prepared as tools to communicate regarding public authority, ADEME in France, and user of our technology, and also in industrial trade fairs.
Yeah, that's really a lot what you are doing, and I think it's very important. So because we usually here replace everything by electric drives, but when you go actually to manufacturing, we have their compressed air, we have hydraulics. It's just impossible to replace the technologies. But the problem is how to choose them efficiently, how to evaluate this efficiency, and how to compare to other drives. And we've seen also many examples in many projects that it's not the comparison of technology, not the problem of choice of the technology, rather choosing it correctly regarding the application. And I think the work that you are doing with your guidelines, also standards, is very important to show manufacturers how to correctly choose efficient solutions here. Not maybe replace it, but it can consume the same as electric drive. So I think this is very important. We cannot live in, as you said, in the fairy tale of electric driven cars and motors.
Yes, also, exactly. It's a principle of the state of the art.
Yes.
Because every technology moves ahead, and
yes.
We don't know in the future what is important from one technology to another. It's not possible to say at a time, okay, there is only one technology for the future, and the other, we just have to let it by the way.
Yes, other technologies, if you, for example, talk about compressed air, my field where I can speak for that, it's very robust and it's also ecological friendly technology. And if we make it also efficient and choose it correctly, so it's very, very good alternative, or sometimes it just cannot be replaced. So just regarding our processes that we had. So, and this is, of course, very interesting. And talking about that, when you develop these guidelines, tools, how the procedure usually look like from Artema, like about, for example, awareness, or how to implement those initiatives that you developed, and how do you support industries towards the green path? How do you bring them this knowledge?
Well, first of all, we support initiative of Artema manufacturer. For instance, we can have a look on video story as recycling from the company SEW Usocom replaces clean cardboard boxes from production plants to make a divider for packaging motor. Renewable energy, the company UGVs installed photovoltaic panel park on the roof of its factory 3 years ago. It covered about 10% of its annual energy needs. Energy efficiency in buildings. The company Artema has built the company's building according to the voluntary LEED certifications, which measures the energy efficiency and quality of the interior space of the buildings.
Oh, wow.
So it's concrete example. We promote best practices within Artema Group or Commission, because all company of Artema can exchange different best practices. So they can say, oh, I pick the solution of my colleague for my proper company. So it's very good, efficient. Artema carried on 23 years environmental topic on circular economy. It's on a briquette of greening sludge for rolling bearings. It means that, for example, for the process of design of manufacturing roller bearing, you have a process of grinding for raceway of bearings. So you have a sort of sledge which is made with steels. We say 100C6 steels with covered with a sort of oils because of manufacturing and different type of particles. But at the end, what can we do with this waste? So the principle is to create it briquettes, which is very, it's a sort of a physical and solid part, and we can take them, these briquettes, for steel industry to permit to be recycling on oven of steel industry. So it was a huge program for Artema and his company, rolling bearings company. But now we have a good opportunity with a company in France to permit this short recycling, which is very efficient. Okay.
Wow. Wow, that's really fascinating. I mean, it's giant projects, but sometimes are there any difficulties or obstacles when you implement it? So when you work with companies, when you start project with the company, like what is their usually reaction? So do you have any obstacles or is there any resistance? So what is in your opinion, can be the big one, the biggest one?
Yes, first of all, companies are looking forward to environmental text and regulation to be ready to follow the law. They are listening the weak signals from the customers and the end user to anticipate new requirements. 10 years ago, we can say there are pure performances. For example, to have a minimum size with a maximum useful power was a criteria, first criteria. Now, it changed a little bit by customer and end user. Nowadays, performance is focusing on reducing energy consumption in compliance with a good carbon footprint. So Artema work to help manufacturers to solve their environmental questions. The key word is anticipate. Anticipate new regulation and new demands from market trend.
Yes, so I think this is a very important start before everyone is in panic and trying to reduce footprint until 2050 and it's already 2045. So that's very important. And I think we had to start yesterday and now, at least in not to tell in the next year, we had to start last year. So we need to do it now. And usually in the companies, who is the corresponding person? Like who is your first contact and who starts the project, who implements it later? How looks this chain of people? Because people are the core of the company, right? And they implement this.
Generally, company has HSE manager or environmental expert for specific topic. Depends.
Okay, yes. So this is the most important. I think even now smaller companies, they have also energy managers, because in the past it was one person doing everything, maintenance manager. He was also energy and safety. But now I think with this tendency, we have more energy managers. It's very important. And do you have like what are the most surprising, in a positive way, of course, outcomes from your projects or reactions on the industrial sector?
Yes, generally they consider economic question on short time before environmental benefits on long time. So it's really a key problem. But I can say that, in fact, it's changing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, situation is changing, and we can, for example, say that a company like SKF has a target on 2030 for zero carbon. So it's a hard target, but it's direct for a long time, for
Yeah.
a long way.
Yeah, and I also saw that in Artema, you also motivate people. You help them to understand also other benefits by reducing energy consumption, because I know that energy consumption, it's actually reduce energy consumption. It's not sometimes the goal; it's the result of using technology correctly. So because company can gain also and win in the safety. In other costs, I mean, we always need to pay for our energy, and this is, of course, very important what you're doing.
Yes, of course, one company propose a same product, and a product which is maybe a little bit more expensive than another one, a simple one. Is this product promote, for example, with mechatronic, the possibility to reduce energy consumption? In general, the client or the customer is happy to take the product which permit to lower energy consumption.
Yes.
Instead of the current one.
Yes, exactly. And I mean, of course, we have Artema is very, very interesting and important organization for France, but in some other countries, there are also similar organizations. As an expert who connects everyone with everything in all possible topics, like what would you be your advice to your colleagues from other countries, how to drive manufacturing towards more sustainable path? So what you would tell to them?
For me, I think that energy consumption is the most important point to perform regarding the whole life cycle of Artema components. Because we have made already for Artema components a whole life cycle, and what is the key point is energy consumption. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Because most of the components are made with metallic part like steel, and so it's not very difficult to recycle.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And talking also about that, what about your plans about Artema, or your plans for the next year? We hope it's going to be less COVID year, so and we can also travel more and develop more interesting projects. So what are you working right now on?
We promote numerical tools interface that easily show different overviews of situation regarding the use of energy.
Okay. Yeah, tools, digitalization, as everyone is saying, is actually really works. So we use this
yes
4.0 fancy words, but it's not actually something different from energy.
Yes, exactly. Efficient tool for
it's just tools,
energy.
exactly. Efficient tool for efficiency. And yes, I mean, you have so many projects in various things, and I have this feeling that efficiency topic is also personally important for you, so, and sustainability topic. So why it is for you personally, what are you doing this, why are you doing this, why it is important?
I think that energy efficiency is a concept quite evident to understand. I am in favor of short circuit for recycling. For example, rolling bearing manufacturer to steel manufacturer, I can say that wastes, all types of waste, are a danger for the health of the planet. Yes. Model of circular economy have to be thinking as many short circuits as possible to follow. So it means that industry has to be rebuilt as locally managed industry.
Yes. Yeah, and also talking about that, I think it's one of my favorite questions, and I was waiting for that. So if you had a superpower to reduce energy consumption only by yourself in one day, what it would be?
Hard question.
Yes, I know, but it's nice to think also.
I just resume something very simple. I say stop spending energy unnecessary, but without forgetting happiness.
Yes. This is very nice point, and this is what we are also aiming in Omlink, that to show that energy efficiency it's not something dramatic and depressing and we have to work hard. It's just, it has this positive impact and we just need to be more creative about it. Follow also some guidelines, connect with experts that are passionate about it, and use Artema tools, Artema organization, and connect also with you. So this was our last question. Olivier, thank you so much. It was very
Thank you very much, Elvira.
we will also put some links to some projects that are public from Artema below our interview. So please visit and ask any questions and contact. So hope we'll be more efficient in the future thanks to your work. Thank you so much. And
thank you very much, Elvira.